my loves, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Katie, and guys, this is going to get really, really weird. If you guys have seen it, Alex Jones has been in trial right now when it comes to defamation with Sandy Hook. If you guys remember what this is, it was a tragedy that happened several years ago with children, and with children not being here as a result of people being physically not nice. I apologize. YouTube demonetizes me for everything, so I have to be so careful what I say. I wish I could just speak directly to you. But what has happened and come out when it comes to Alex Jones is apparently he may have lied under oath, and he may be facing perjury. And it's pretty big. So we're gonna get into this and we're gonna take a look. But before we do, to those of you that are new, hi, how are you? My name is Katie, and I cover all types of trending topics on this channel. Would love to have you guys. We like to giggle through all the BS we see. We hear nothing about Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeff and Airplane, Little Black Book, but we get force-fed Johnny Depp. So we're just gonna giggle through this all. Now, I understand this topic is way more sensitive, and I totally get that, but we do have some fun. So if you like videos like this, make sure and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'm giving away my $100 gift card every Monday. Very simple to be entered and eligible. All you have to do, like the video, subscribe, hit notifications, comment, share the content, watch this video from start to finish. You're entered, you're eligible, and that's it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's jump into this. So here's the big thing, if you guys don't know. So Alex Jones used to be one of the biggest prominent figures on YouTube, not just as a YouTuber where he amassed millions of subscribers, but he talked a lot about blank theories, about theories that may or may not be true. Please infer, it's YouTube, I have to be careful. Now, I loved how crazy he could act, right? And here's the thing, some of what Alex said over the years ended up proving true. There's actually a lot of truth. However, in this one, when it comes to this horrible thing, this horrible tragedy that happened, he was not accurate, and he put out all different types of claims that it's a hoax, it's not real, all of these different things. And so the parents have been fighting back. And this has been going on, like I said, for several years. So this is finally coming to a head, but it looks like Alex may have lied on the stand, and it looks like these parents might actually win. So let's take a look and see exactly what's going on. From CNN.com, and it says, Sandy Hook family attorney exposes Alex Jones's dishonesty during brutal cross-examination. By the way, they actually started citing perjury during this, which means he could face possible criminal charges. But then again, same with Amber, and nothing happens with her, so we'll see. But with Alex, I think there are enough crazy psychopaths at the top of the food chain who would love to see him go down. That's the hard part about Alex, is like, and especially when it comes to stuff like this, guys, when it comes to these blank theories, is like, you can get to a point where, and I think this is what's happened with Alex, I'll talk more about this later, but you see so much dark stuff, you just kind of lose it. And I think that may have been what happened to him over the years. It kind of almost damages you, right? So it says, from New York, the dishonesty of the right-wing blank theorist Alex Jones was spotlighted in a Texas court on Wednesday as a lawyer for the pair of Sandy Hook parents cross-examined the InfoWars founder and fact-checked his answers in real time. The jury hearing the case will determine how much Jones will have to pay the parents, Neil Heslin and Scarlett Lewis, who won a default judgment against him earlier this year. An attorney representing Heslin and Lewis has asked the jury to award $150 million in damages. Jones, who was the sole witness for the defense during the trial, did not fare well Wednesday as he was cross-examined by the plaintiff's attorney, Mark Bankston. In a remarkable moment, Bankston discloses to Jones that he had recently acquired evidence proving Jones had lied when he claimed during the discovery process that he had never texted about the 2012 Sandy Hook situation. Be careful. Bankston said that Jones's attorney had, in an apparent mishap, sent him 2 years of cell phone records that included every text message Jones has sent. That is, how do you mess up that bad? How do you mess up that bad? The cell phone records, Bankston said, showed that Jones had in fact texted about the incident. That is how I know you lied to me when you said you didn't have text messages about the incident, Bankston said. Bankston showed Jones a text message exchange he had about Sandy Hook, but Jones testified that he had never seen those text messages. When reminded, Jones had testified under oath that he had searched his phone during the discovery phase of the trial and could not locate messages about the incident. Jones insisted that he did not lie. Jones baselessly said in the aftermath of the Sandy Hook issue, in which 26 people are no longer here, that the incident was staged. Facing lawsuits, Jones has since acknowledged that the shooting has occurred. Well, here's the thing. Okay, playing devil's advocate, by the way, I'm not against Alex Jones. I want you guys to understand on this channel, I don't even have a political affiliation. I weigh information objectively in each situation, which I think is what we should. Is it possible that he did search his phone and he couldn't find anything? And that with the records, if they did have records, like if they had to pull, because that's the thing, I could see a situation where, again, just playing devil's advocate, if I were to go to my cell phone carrier and say, give me all the records, but I were to try to look stuff up in my phones or in my devices, it might not all be there because I changed devices, or like my stuff, like my iCloud and stuff routinely gets full from me doing editing. I'm not defending. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to find where there could be some variation or wiggle room, right? And so it says, what reminded Jones had testified under oath and that he searched his phone during the discovery phase of the trial could not locate the messages, but he did not lie. Jones baselessly said in the aftermath of the incident, which 26 people are no longer here, that the incident was staged. It says, Jones said in a 2019 sworn deposition that a form of psychosis caused him at the time to believe it was staged. Yes, and that's what I'm saying. When he says form of psychosis, is that when you got to remember, he's constantly looking at, there are these psychopaths at the top of the world that hurt women and children and all types of people and sell them, right? You see enough of that for decades, it's going to mess with your brain. And the worst part is, he may have been incorrect about Sandy Hook, right? That's what it seems like. It seems like that was a situation he was wrong about. He's admitted he's wrong about. However, it doesn't make him wrong about a lot of the other stuff he said, and I can understand, and not about this, but about other stuff, right? About some of the other topics he's, like, I remember he talked about, like, they're turning the freaking frogs into people that are attracted to same sex, and we, including me, we all laughed. We're like, what? But he's also a crazy showman, right? Turns out there was actual truth to that. So that's the hard part with this stuff, is I can understand him saying about the psychosis, and that when you just look at enough dark stuff like that, it is going to mess with your brain and the way you see the world. By the way, I'm not defending anything. I'm just giving points of view. That's all. And this can happen. A lot of people who go down blank theory lanes, right? The blank theories, and they really go down hardcore with that stuff, you can really get your mind warped and get lost. And I know from experience, I love this stuff, guys. I love the theories. You guys have seen my TikTok. It's full of weirdness, right? But you have to be able to have, you can have your head in the clouds, but you have to have a foot in reality too, right? Just in general, or it can really mess with you. That's all. Just wanted to put that out there. And in court on Wednesday, Jones says that he does believe that the incident that happened, said is 100% real. In another notable moment during cross-examination Wednesday, Jones was asked whether he had connected Maya Guerrera Gamble, the judge overseeing the trial, to people who aren't nice to children, please infer, and people who sell people, please infer. When Jones denied having done so, Bankston played the video for the court of his show and the video that says these things. In the video, Jones attacks Gamble's prior work for the CPS by claiming the agency had been exposed for working with people who are not nice to children. Now, I can sit here and tell you, he's not wrong in that. I'm not saying every CPS worker is awful, but that organization has, I know they've done a lot of good for children, but they've also done a lot of horrific things, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, but we hear stories about that all the time. So that's the hard part about Alex. It's like, he's nuts, but he's also not wrong about a lot of things, and it's hard to know how to take him, right? And it says, when Jones denied having done so, they played the video. And it says, Gamble, whose office did not respond to an early request for comment about the fact that what he's doing has been attacking her, the judge, in such terms, laughed when he saw a screen grab from the video in court on Wednesday. It says, the person on the left of the image is our judge, correct? Bankston asked Jones. Jones replied that it was. Attorneys for the plaintiff said Tuesday that they intend to ask for sanctions against Jones for being dishonest on the stand. And Gamble on Tuesday had also admonished Jones for having violated his oath to tell the truth twice. You're already under oath to tell the truth, Gamble said Tuesday. You've already violated that oath twice today. In just those two examples, it seems absurd to instruct you again that you must tell the truth while you testify, yet here I am again. This is not your show, Gamble said to him on Wednesday. Alex Jones finished testifying Wednesday. The defense rested its case to closing arguments getting underway. The jury could potentially decide how much it will award in damages to the Sandy Hook parents as early as this week. The current trial is the first of 3 that will determine how much Jones will have to pay multiple Sandy Hook families who went after him in one default judgment. And then, guys, what I want to show you here is I want to show you, this is a little snippet into the mind of Alex Jones and what he was thinking, and the fact is that he wasn't trying to hurt anybody, at least from his perspective. Again, I'm not against. There are a lot of things I like about Alex Jones. There are things I don't like about Alex Jones. I look at everybody that way, right? So I want to play this for you so you guys can at least see a little bit of where he's coming from.
You may begin, Mr. Reno.
Alex, would you please introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
I am Alex Jones.
How are you feeling today, Alex?
I actually feel good because I get a chance to, for the first time, say what's really going on instead of the corporate media and high-powered law firms manipulating what I actually did.
I want to start by kind of letting the jury know a little bit about your youth and where you grew up so they can get to know you better. Is that okay?
Okay. And you know, before we do that, I just do want to say this on record, because I've said it many times. I apologize to both.
Sustained. So, Mr. Jones, one of the instructions I just gave you is that this is not a conversation. Question and answer.
So she got the monologue, but not me. I got it.
And so you have to only answer questions that are asked of you. Mr. Reynal will ask you, I'm certain, all the questions you want, except to wait for the question. You may proceed.
Mr. Jones, have you been wanting to apologize to the plaintiffs in this case for a long time?
Yes.
And what would you like to say to them?
That I never intentionally tried to hurt you. I never even said your name until this case came to court. I didn't even really know who you were until a couple years ago when all this started up. The internet had a lot of questions. I had questions. And over that 6-7 year period before I got sued, or 6-year period, it's clear you can see the whole progression of us, the few times we covered it, trying to actually find out what happened. And that's really been my big frustration, is that the people have said that I'm personally trying to hurt them or coming after them when I question every big event, and a lot of times it turns out that we've not been told the truth. And a perfect example is today, where they play a 30 or 1 minute clip, and I had just done that this morning, and I knew that I said, I believe that Scarlett Lewis is real, and she's a really nice person, and she's really a sweet person. And then I went through and talked about her ex-husband too, and then I said, I believe they're being fed and manipulated, and this is a perfect.
Sustained.
This is a perfect.
Sustained. When you hear sustained, you have to stop talking.
Okay.
Do you feel that the video clip was a fair representation of what you meant to convey?
No, it had the front and back, no.
Okay, and why wasn't it fair?
Because it had the front and back cut off of it to totally misrepresent the apology at the end and at the first, where I said, I believe she's a real person and lost her child. So someone edited that and then showed it to her, and then they brought it in here and played it to show it to you. And I think you should ask to see the full segment.
All right. So now that we've got that out of the way, I want to ask you some questions about where you grew up and how you came to have your business. Can you let us know where are you from in Texas originally?
I first was born in Dallas, then I grew up in a suburb of Dallas called Rockwell.
And how old were you when you moved to Austin?
16.
And can you tell the members of the jury why your family relocated to Austin?
My dad sold his dental practice, and there was too much crime in Dallas, and Austin was a safer city.
Okay, guys, so that's what we have so far, but I am curious, what do you guys think? Do you think what he said, like, he looked actually really upset, and he seemed upset because, well, some people get to speak, and I don't get to speak. And did you hear the judge? The judge is having none of it from him. But at the same time, if he is alleging all types of things about the judge, I mean, you can't blame her if she's not super happy. But I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a really interesting one because, like I said, it's hard because, like, Alex is a weird one. He's nuts. He's a showman. He's even said when it comes to his show, right? Some of that is him adding in exaggeration, and it's him, being an entertainer and a performer. He's actually said this, but at the same time, a lot of his information proves to be true, but not always. And the problem here, guys, is that this is another thing. You got to be careful with all this blank theory stuff. And the reason is that he had a whole audience of people who were really into this sort of thing. A lot of those people, if you are not careful, like I said, and then some of those people in general can be prone to different issues with mental illness. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying this can be a common theme. Or even like people, like with Alzheimer's or things, right? Where they get kind of confused and lost. If you have somebody who has certain issues, they can be predisposed to take this stuff too far. And the problem is that when Alex was talking about a lot of these things and it being as exaggerated as he is and doing his Alex Jones spiel and his shtick, right? And by the way, when I say shtick, I'm not saying he doesn't believe a lot of the things he says. I think most of what he puts out there, he does believe what he's putting out there, at least in the initially, right? He's now reneged on this one. But the problem is it can stir up and cause some of those people in that audience to end up doing lots and lots of harm to whoever he's talking about. Alex Jones has even come out and admitted, he's like, that's even happened to me, where people are like, oh, you're a double agent, who watch him and then try to go after him. So the problem was these people who went through this awful situation then got harassed and had horrible things happen to them as a result of the incorrect information Alex put out. And this is where you have to be really careful with this stuff. Another thing I can't help but think, and I'm not saying this is happening with this, but by the way, this, again, I'm not taking a side. This is just me contemplating the information. A lot of what Alex Jones has come out and said has ended up being true over the years, and we've all laughed at him. Is this a situation where this is another way to make him look as bad as possible because there are people at the top who are mad that he's exposed them? By the way, I'm not saying that's the case. But I am saying you have to look at that in terms of the way Alex is going to be painted. And here's where I'm coming from. I'm wondering how the media will be painting Alex in this. He's already been found guilty of defamation. Now it's just how much money does he have to shell out? And they're trying to figure all of that out right now. But the media is never kind to him. And I don't trust the mainstream media. Now, not to say I necessarily trust Alex Jones either, but I'm just saying I think it's going to get really interesting. I want to know what you guys think, though. What do you think about this? Sound off in the comments and let me know. Y'all know I'm always curious to hear what you guys have to say. Do you think that Alex Jones means well? Do you think what he's saying is sincere? Do you think he lied? Do you think he lied intentionally? Let me know. As always, if you like videos like this and content like this, make sure and subscribe, hit that notification bell. Would love to have you. The $100 gift card giveaway. Also, very few people are doing it. You have a really good shot. Remember, all you have to do, like the video, subscribe, hit notifications, comment, share this content, watch this video from start to finish. That's it. You're entered, you're eligible. That's all you have to do. Okay, guys, I think that's it for me here today. Take care. Lots of love, lots of blessings. I couldn't get it out. Mouth, brain work. Until the next video, guys, I'm giving everybody hugs, kisses. You guys stay safe as always. Your girl. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.